Hey, welcome back, everybody. First, a real quick reminder. There's a newsletter now. Every week, you'll get some transition tips, highlights from the guest interviews, and a bunch of other cool stuff to help you tackle your transition. Straight to your inbox. Don't miss out. Just hit the link in the show notes or head over to transitiondrillpodcast.com. And did I mention it's totally free, super easy, and it's made just for you. Seriously, go sign up. You're going to dig it. Okay, enough screwing around. You know, there's something that's cool about these careers. Think back to a time when someone introduced you to the right person at the right time. It may have been for a promotion, an opportunity you didn't see coming, or even just good advice that steered you in a better direction. Those moments have power. They're not just about the people. They're about the communities that we build. Now, I want you to think about your own journey. How much of where you're at has been shaped by people you've met along the way? Maybe it was a leader who had your back, a teammate who showed you the ropes, or a buddy who kept you focused. Those bonds, that trust, it's foundational. When we step away from these careers, it's easy to feel like those connections start to fade. Today, I want to challenge that notion. What if the key to your success post-transition isn't just about landing the best job or chasing the next paycheck? What if it's about embracing a spirit of collaboration? You don't have to go it alone. There's strength in building a community that supports and uplifts everyone. So with that, let's get into round 55 of the tactical transition tips. This time the topic is community over competition. For the close range group, those of you looking at your transition right away or you're less than a year out, be a connector. For the medium range group, those of you looking at your transition in 5 or so years, develop a regional transition network. And for the long range group, those of you just starting your careers, you've got at least a decade before your transition, join committees or boards.
When you transition out, is try to model all of the good things, the discipline, the structure, that little bit of rigidity into your everyday life. And I think that that's a great way to make that transition happen, man.
Take the time to invest in yourself because it means everything. You know? That's what the difference is. The difference is not just to collect a check. It's to live 25 years, 30, 40 years after you retire and pay it forward that way.
Close range group, be a connector. If you're transitioning within the next year or so, I know things might feel like you're trying to eat an extra large pizza all by yourself. Maybe, wait a minute, that might be a bad example. If you're like me and can take down some pizza, that might not be appropriate. Body by carbs, I say. But seriously, you're probably juggling resume updates, applications, and just figuring out everything that is your transition. Trust me, I get it. It's a lot to manage. But here's the thing. While you're focusing on getting yourself prepared, one of the most valuable things you can do is focus outward and become a connector. Hold on. I know that sounds counterintuitive. You're probably thinking, wait, shouldn't I be putting all my energy into my own job search or my own career goals? And the answer is yes. But hear me out with this. Acting as a connector is not just about helping others. It's about building a network that works for everyone, including yourself. By focusing on bringing people together, you're creating a ripple effect that strengthens your position as someone who can be trusted and wants to help in return. Let's talk about how important it is to be a connector, especially during your transition. First, you want to establish your value. When you're a connector, you're not just another job seeker. You're not somebody in the crowd who's just looking for a job. You become someone who adds value to the people and the networks that you interact with. You stand out as someone who sees the bigger picture and invests in others' success. And that's a quality that employers and peers are going to notice in you. Next, you want to foster mutual respect. It's human nature. When you help others, they want to help you. By connecting people, you're creating goodwill, and those you've helped are more likely to think of you when they hear about opportunities. Also, you're building deeper connections. Introducing two people doesn't just benefit them. It deepens your relationship with each of them. They remember the value you added, which makes them more likely to include you in their professional opportunities and the people they connect with. Think of it like this. Think of those multi-level marketing plans. Okay, maybe I call them a scheme, but that's a different podcast. But you benefit not just by the work you're doing, but by the people working for you. However, in this case, you don't want to be using people. You seriously want to be helping them. So how do you become a connector? First, map out your network. List everyone you know, not just a couple of your close friends or coworkers. Think broadly. Your network is everybody that you've served with, current and former bosses, community leaders, even connections that you've made on social media platforms. Here's one. Let's say you know somebody who's interested in cybersecurity, and you also know somebody else who's recently transitioned and they're working in that field. Connect them. Send a quick email, a LinkedIn introduction, or a text string. That could lead to a conversation that benefits them both, but it also is strengthening your position as a connector. Also look for those key networking opportunities, but also identify the gatekeepers. Identify the people in those organizations that can open doors for you. But it may not be a fit for you. Share it with somebody else. Your networking might not always benefit you. Say you meet somebody, but they're in a field that doesn't interest you. Don't disregard them. Maintain that connection. I would say, let me use this example. For my card players, think of it like those cards in your hand that you're willing to discard. They're not throwaway people. They just might benefit somebody else instead of you. But remember, what looks like a discard now changes with your next draw. It might seem like there's no benefit to you today, but who knows? 6 months from now, it could be a completely different story. But most important, connect genuinely with everybody you can, because you never know what will be in your benefit in the future. I would recommend at least once a month. Attend some type of event that allows you to network. While you're there, though, pay attention to who's actively connecting with people, but who's also connecting other people together. Watch and learn from how they do it. Hell, strike up a conversation with them, because you're going to have to become a good facilitator. A good introduction isn't just, hey, you two should talk. It's on you to create the context that sets both people up for success through that connection. Here's an example. We've all been in this situation. You're introduced to someone, and the person introducing the two of you says, you're both veterans, you're both first responders, you should talk, and leaves it at that. Yes, having a common ground of overall careers can be a jump off, but it would be better to show that there's a more granular connection. So instead, you could do something like this. John, meet Sarah. Sarah got out a couple years ago and is now a project manager. Sarah, John is about to transition out and has experience leading projects or leading teams. Maybe you two might be able to share some information. Maybe John could be an asset to you. Something like that. Bottom line is, you need to almost validate each person to the other person first. Next, you have to be proactive and generous. Share resources that you come across. Send job leads or events that are coming to your attention. Tag people in a post that's related to a job that they might be interested in. You just need to be consistent with it. Work on trying to connect at least 2 people a week. The crazy thing is, though, you never know who's going to start connecting you by you actively connecting others. All right. I know you're thinking, I need to add another brick to my pile of bricks like I need a hole in the head. Yes, your plate is full, but being a connector doesn't have to take hours. Start dedicating 30 minutes a week. Identify opportunities for people in your network. I know you're already on social media every morning. Take 5 of those minutes. See what you can share with others. Forward job openings, training opportunities, anything that might have benefit to somebody you know, and you'll be surprised at how quickly it becomes second nature. And here's another thing. I know it's easy to feel like you should focus solely on your own transition, but remember, connecting others is about strategy. And remember, your focus on the mutual benefits to both of you, you're not just asking people for favors. You're fostering collaboration. So lean into the role of being a connector. It might feel like an extra task right now, but trust me, it's an investment in your future. Don't just think about who can help you. Think about who you can help. Who in your network would benefit from meeting someone else that you know? Look for ways to connect people and watch how those small actions build a community that lifts everybody up, including you. What powers you through your day? If you're like me, coffee's at the top of that list. So take your coffee to a new level with Trident Coffee, a veteran-owned brand that's redefining your coffee experience. Cold brew experts, their instant cold brew is a game changer. And though they roast their beans to excel as a cold brew, trust me, their coffee tastes just as amazing hot. Trident Coffee is also committed to your wellness, with ingredients like organic mushrooms, adaptogens, and nootropics to help boost your focus and support your immunity. It's made for those who enjoy good coffee and value quality and health. Whether you're looking for that perfect, refreshing cold brew or a smooth cup of hot coffee to fuel your day, Trident Coffee has you covered. Head over to tridentcoffee.com and use the promo code TDP15 for 15% off your order. That's TDP15 for 15% off your order. Medium Range Group. Develop a regional transition network. Like I've said before, you're not under immediate pressure. It might even feel like you have the luxury of time, and to a degree you do. But you still need to be preparing, and preparing with intention. And one of the best moves you can make during these next few years is to develop a regional transition network. Now I know, regional transition network might sound a bit formal or large scale, but at its core, it's about one thing: building local relationships that will set you up for your success when your time comes to step into the civilian world. But now you ask yourself, why do I have to build a regional network now? Most important, you get access to unseen opportunities. Did you know that many job opportunities are never posted publicly? They're shared within their groups or passed along through referrals. So by you building a strong local network, you ensure that when those opportunities come up, you're in the loop. Something else to think about. When you surround yourself with peers who are also planning their transition, it creates a shared sense of purpose. These relationships can help you focus and stay motivated as you work towards your goals. And in turn, you're a motivation to someone else. Another thing is you also get the personal support. Transitioning isn't just a shift in your career. It's a life shift. Many of us will end up in jobs and companies whose cultures are nothing like what we came from. Having that local support system means you'll have people who understand your experiences and can offer advice, encouragement, and resources specific to what you need. So let's talk about how to actually go about this. You have to understand that developing this transition network will not happen overnight. Start by learning the organizations, the events, and the local groups in your area. Ideally, you want to find the ones that support transitioning veterans or first responders, but don't limit yourself to just those specific entities. Next, start building your peer network. Find others in your area who are also preparing for their transition. Use social media to find local groups, meetups, but when you find them, go attend them. Reach out to community leaders. Go to the Chamber of Commerce, the Rotary, the Kiwanis, the Elks. Go to them all. But on the other hand, it doesn't have to just be business people or business groups. It can be your church. It can be nonprofit groups or volunteer groups. You never know who can open up doors that you don't even know exist. Something real simple that you can do, which will expose you to a lot of people, start volunteering in your community. If you don't find anything in your area, create it. Consider organizing a monthly meetup at a local coffee shop. Post it on your social media. Ask your friends and family to share it with their contacts and their friends. Yes, it might be you and one other person for that first time. Stay with it. Like the old saying, if you build it, they will come. You could also try partnering with a local company to host some type of transition readiness event. There's bound to be multiple companies in your community that are supportive of first responders and veterans. And if they're not able to help or they don't have the space to host the event, I'm willing to bet they know somebody who does. Something else to consider when reaching out to businesses. It's beneficial to them as well. They're going to get people into their business who could become potential customers. But on the flip side, they may also be getting connected with potential future employees. So sell it to them that way. Something else very important to remember is include your family in your networking. Transitioning isn't just about you. It's going to impact your family as well. Look for networking opportunities at family-friendly events, which can help build or rebuild. Because I'm using myself as an example. I guess we could all be a little better to our families. It's no judgment. I'm just speaking from personal experience. Okay. Building a regional network isn't going to be without challenges. If you're still you're still active, you might be thinking, dude, I don't have time to create this network. It's true. You might not right now. But what if you started small? Go back to that monthly coffee meetup. You're telling me you don't have an hour a month to go meet for a cup of coffee? I'm willing to bet if someone else started it, you'd have the time to go to it. So just take the reins and be the one to make it happen. If time is legit that limited, then schedule networking time. Put it on the calendar, same way you schedule a workout. Remember, consistency matters more than frequency. For those of you who are living in small or rural areas, use virtual opportunities. Use Zoom, use LinkedIn. Use whatever platforms allow you to get connected. Look into some of the larger national organizations and see what kind of events they offer. Also, something that you have to remember, you can't be shy. You're creating and participating in this networking group to let people get to know you. It's always about not who you know, but who knows you. Building a regional network is an investment in your future, but not just for landing your next job. It's about creating a community that helps you thrive during and after your transition. So the time to start is now. Each step you take builds a bridge to a smoother, more successful transition. And who knows, the people you meet today might be the ones who change your life tomorrow. Ever feel like your body just isn't keeping up like it used to? Life doesn't slow down, and sometimes the grind catches up. Lower energy, lagging focus, or a dip in motivation? Human Performance TRT understands the need to regain your edge. As a veteran and first responder-owned company, they're not just another telehealth provider. They take a full spectrum approach to your health, crafting personalized plans that go beyond hormones. No locked-in subscriptions, no hassle. Everything is delivered directly to your door, so you can focus on what really matters. Already on a hormone replacement program? Transition seamlessly with recent blood work. No extra tests required if your labs are under 6 months old. Ready to optimize your health? Visit hptrt.com and see what personalized care looks like. Don't forget to use the promo code TDP for 10% off your program. Long Range Group. Join committees or boards. For those of you a long way off from your transition, or at least your current plan for your transition, make decisions for success now and for tomorrow. One of the best ways to set yourself up and apart from others is to join committees or boards. But when I say committees or boards, I don't mean the transition networking type that I just mentioned. I'm referring to organized groups, ideally ones that have a greater or bigger mission. You should look for committees both within your current job as well as away from work. And this is a benefit to you because it's about stepping into leadership roles, expanding your network, especially your personal network away from your current career, and building influence that will serve you in countless ways. You're in a unique position to shape your future while making a purposeful contribution today. And this isn't just about padding your resume. But hey, don't get me wrong, that's a nice bonus. So be purposeful. But really, why does joining committees or boards matter? Serving on one of these exposes you to high-level decision-making, strategic planning, and operations. It shows that you can think critically, be an effective leader, and work collaboratively in complex environments. And all these skills translate not only into your career today, but they also translate into your civilian careers tomorrow. As I've said before, it's about who knows you. By getting involved, you're going to meet influential people. You're going to expand your network, and you're going to build a reputation as someone who is not just along for the ride, but actively shaping the future. Also, you want to grow your personal voice. This is your chance to speak up or be involved in the things that matter to you. However, these might also be things that matter to your current agency as well. For example, maybe you join a group that helps fund programs for veterans. There's a good likelihood that you will learn things which could translate and help you have an impact on your current employer's policies and programs. I get it. You're early in your career. But let's be real. You've probably already noticed the difference between the people who just complain for the sake of it and those who roll up their sleeves to make things better. Think about it. Which one do you want to be? I also understand that the idea of joining a board might sound lofty or intimidating, but it's actually more accessible than you think. Start by identifying causes or organizations that mean something to you. Maybe you have a passion regarding mental health resources for first responders or veterans, or you want to support youth programs in your community. Remember, it's about getting involved beyond you. The committee doesn't have to be specific to veterans or first responders. What it needs to do is feed that voice that's inside you. Regardless what you're looking for, what you want is missions that align with your interests. Or maybe you find an organization that aligns with something you have an expertise in. Think about where your skill could make the biggest difference. If you still don't know where to start, reach out to people you know, mentors, community leaders. They're going to know of potential board openings. Most important, though, don't be shy about asking for introductions. Now, I get it. Logic tells you that you're not likely to jump straight into a major board position. But many of these organizations have committees or advisory roles where you can get your feet wet and learn the ropes. I'd recommend volunteering for some community first or committee first. This is often like a stepping stone towards a board membership. Show your commitment. Show that you'll be able to naturally move into larger roles over time. Another thing is be prepared to work. Serving involves more than just showing up for meetings. You need to be willing to get involved in the budgets, the strategic planning of the organization, and major decisions that have to be made. Be invested. Take time to learn all aspects of the organization. On your own, look for classes on board governance. Many nonprofits offer training for potential board members. The training may not be free, so if you really want to do this, invest in yourself. And I know you're asking, why is all this worth it? Because these types of skill help you grow within your organization, as well as making you more marketable when you transition. Your mission should be to improve your organization now while you're preparing to improve yourself for when you transition. Like I said before, start small. Start serving on a single committee or taking on a very small role which allows you to contribute without feeling overwhelmed. Treat being involved as part of your professional development. Boards or committees are often made up of people from diverse backgrounds. Conflicts or differing opinions are bound to happen. Use these as opportunities to build your interpersonal skills and learn to navigate conflicts diplomatically. Learning to work with multiple, often competing groups is going to for sure help you in your career progression as you grow today. Once you get going with this, there's some important things, though, you need to remember. First, and very important, track your actions and your achievements. Document what you do, whether you took the lead on a new initiative, you secured funding for a project, or you streamlined some sort of process. Keep a personal record of it. Save any awards or accolades that you receive. Then, don't just be a name on a roster. Be an active participant. Get involved in discussions and decision-making and using your insights and ideas that could help shape the organization's future. Also, look for ways to bring new ideas to the table. Find programs or partnerships that align with the organization's mission and that move the organization forward. Encourage collaboration. Collaboration amplifies impact. You want to drive cohesive working partnerships within your board as well as other organizations. Be the one who sees beyond selfish benefits. Next, be sure to always give back. Be a mentor. Always help new board members and recruit new members. Mentorship is a reflection of your commitment not only to the success of the organization, but to your professional development. I hope as you're listening to me talking about this, the specific organization you're involved in might seem to blur. Remember, you always need to be thinking about your career today and your career tomorrow. Your achievements not only help the organization that you're working for now, but it bolsters your professional leadership portfolio going forward. While you're working now, you want to go into a promotional opportunity and be able to sell your management and leadership abilities based on experience. On the other hand, you want to go into your transition job interview and sell the complete package that you are to that new company. Joining committees or boards is a long game, but the rewards are invaluable. You'll gain leadership skills, experience, and expand your organizational acumen. But beyond that, these roles prepare you for the challenges and the opportunities of your career today, as well as transitioning down the road. So long range group, this is your time to think big and take action. Find a cause that speaks to you. Get involved and let your leadership and marketability grow. The experiences you gain and the relationships you'll build will not only lead to success in your career now, but you can have a lasting impact on the growth of your current company, as well as an organization that's doing good for many others. All right, let's take a moment to bring everything together for the week. Close range group, be a connector. By helping others, you build a support network that will be there to lift you when you need it. Medium range group, develop a regional transition network. Build local connections that will unlock opportunities and give you a solid foundation for the road ahead. And long range group, join committees or boards. Step into leadership roles that grow your skills, expand your influence, and allow you to make your agency better today and your marketability better tomorrow. As always, thank you for listening or watching the episode. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to reach out. Social media, send me an email. The links are in the show notes. I'd love to hear from you. If you're not already, please follow the podcast on whatever platform you get your podcasts. And you can also subscribe on YouTube. And if you would, please leave a rating. Ratings do two things. You can point out what I need to fix or change, but the more ratings also gets the podcast recommended to more people. Also, please share it with anyone you think could benefit and enjoy it. And until next time, remember, the idea of moving forward can feel daunting, but your transition is coming. And when it does, the strength of your relationships will define your success. And it all starts with community over competition.